Welcome, everybody, to another edition of What's Up Bull Time. Fernando Ramirez here to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the LA Chargers. In the last 24 hours, they've made three signings, two defensive tackles, one return that everybody, I think about 85% of the fan base is very excited about. So we'll get into all that, get Dan's thoughts on Najee Harris, what he wants to see the team try and go out and get, and then we'll have some fun, we'll have some laughs, and we'll get into all that. But first, let's go with the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So where's Compas?
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's pretty much it. Couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to What's Up Bolt. I am Fernando Ramirez, here to talk a little bit about Mike Williams returning, some of the signings that the Chargers have made, and obviously some other areas that they need to touch on. But I know everybody was very disappointed yesterday. We had Tyler Dragon on. It was a great time. We had a great time with Tyler Dragon. I think everybody enjoyed Tyler Dragon being on, but everybody was kind of like, well, there's something missing and someone missing. And no, I'm not talking about Hilberto, so don't think about that. Everybody's like, where's Dan? Why is Dan not on here? And I'm like, oh, he's been fighting something. But now he is back. The prodigal son has returned. Here is Dan and Dago.
I hope everybody can see this right here. I got a little chicken noodle soup, fighting my illness, right? Having a little absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. But let me tell you what else I'm fighting, Frown. Exactly, Young West. I am fighting about how sick and damn tired I am of seeing how much crap we have and just getting nobody. We're getting a few. There you go. That was delicious soup. Shout out to Mother Dan and Dago. That was delicious. But we're re-signing guys that we've already had. Okay, great. Low risk, high reward. Absolutely.
No, Alex, no soda. Dan gave it up for Lent.
I gave it up for Lent. I apologize.
And he's already been sick.
Got a little Snapple. I was tested. God tested me on Monday. Fought through it. Still no soda. This is like week 1 or whatever. Anyway, I'm seeing guards taking off the table for Al. And I'm wondering to myself, what's going on? I thought this was a story. I'm seeing D tackles getting max deals. And I'm wondering what the hell's going on. Then I see we're re-signing, God bless him. I'm sure he's a good person and whatever else. Jalen Reagor, he dropped the football a few times. I can't have people who drop the football for Al. What are we doing? We see who we're resigning. Where's that? Just a little bit. Just let me wet my beak. I feel like the Dave Chappelle skit where he's like all drugged out and he's like, you got any of that? You got any of that great free agency right there? I'm a little bit nervous. We're getting opportunities that taste like crap. LOL. Oh, I wonder where. Oh, talking about maybe some of these agents we've signed or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what would, like, to me, there's my little overreaction. Okay, fighting that illness with the rest of them, because I totally do agree that this is not a. I understand that it's not a good look, but like the only thing that I understand so far, right, is like you understand that the vision of Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz clearly is going to be to build inside out. All right. I understand we're going to build through the draft and other things like that. But I mean, like, in my opinion, it's a lot to ask of a 22-year-old to come in and play professional football. And then the person next to him, oh yeah, it's, Bozeman, Trey Pipkins, or Zion Johnson. Like, that's not an easy task to do. You know what I mean? Like, I understand this is a marathon, not a sprint. Totally agree. But like, and where I was getting with this, like, I totally understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand passing on DK because a second and 30 million is a lot. I understand passing on Devontae because 50 million for a 30-some-year-old is a lot. But like to see some of these linemen come off the board, that's where I'm starting to wonder, like, what's going on, dude? Like, I understand, and the problem is again that we're not in the building. We don't know what the conversations are going on in there, because I totally respect, totally want them to build through the draft. I think that's how you sustain great programs. But you know, are you going to hit on the first 4 linemen you draft in there? You know what I mean? Like, you need 3 interior at least to be a little bit more successful this year, in my opinion. You need D-tackle help, which they got, and we'll see how they do. But like, it's starting to look a lot of like 1-year rentals again. Whereas last year it made sense because like there wasn't a lot of cap space. There was this, there was that. But this year with a lot of money, I'm kind of wondering, like, clearly either they don't like the field or, you know, I just don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to be able to guess.
If we're being honest, like, nobody really liked the field. I mean, you're having average cornerbacks getting 20 million a year. Like, a lot of guys are really getting overpaid, and I feel like that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
That's the
But
really
these linemen, none of them could help, really? That's what I'm wondering. That's why I'm wondering what they're going to do. But I mean,
well, some of these linemen have gotten overpaid, but yes,
I did see one get 88.
It seems like they're going with 1-year contracts, and like they were doing last year. Last year, that's kind of what they were doing. This year, it seems like they're doing it again.
I just can't watch, and I think everyone would agree. I cannot watch another season of my boy having an owie on his hand, an owie on his rib, an owie on his. I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. It's gonna make me sick.
Speaking of an owie, the Chargers also did agree to a contract with Naquan Jones, defensive tackle from the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
We'll talk about Mike in a second. Dan, this is Naquan. You'll remember him. Watch it. He's over Trey Pipkins. Watch him.
Oh God, is he gonna make me vomit or get excited? Like, my God, dude. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. I can't watch this again. Like, Disley's terrible. Pipkins is terrible. And I think he splits Joe Alt too. God only knows what they're doing. This is just so bad, dude. This is so bad. This is bad football. I can't do it again, Frown. I can't do it. I refuse.
Well, I mean, that's a good move. I mean, if he's on your team, he might be able to.
Well, hell, those guys blocking him will make him look great. We'll see what we can do over here.
Dan, you also signed Deshaun Hand from the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
24 pressures, 25 stops, 17 QB hurries. I spoke to a Miami Dolphins beat reporter today, and I asked him, hey, give me the lowdown on him. And this is what he messaged me. He goes, Deshaun Hand was the guy that the Dolphins really would have liked to have refined, and not just because they're very short on numbers at the defensive tackle. Hand is a guy who is a former 4th-round pick of the Lions, always showed ability, but always dealt with injury. That changed last year. He produced some really good work for the Dolphins defense. He is a borderline starter, very good depth piece for any defensive line but he does have some fast rushing ability, and depending on the price, this is a really good pickup because, again, he's a guy who can solidify part of any rotation.
Well, thank God,
I'm telling you, this Dolphins beat reporter that I was talking, he's not those delusional ones that think that Tua is the next coming of
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino. This guy from the beginning, he's like, I don't think that they should have gone Justin Herbert. Like, he would tell me they should have gone Justin Herbert. They should have gone Justin Herbert. This guy is this guy's legit, and he's the one that told me last year. He's like, Tier Tart is a good player. He's just lazy.
Yeah.
Like, he needs a coach to stick a firecracker up there, and make the dude go. So he told me about Tier Tart. He said, keep an eye on him. I think he could be solid under Jim Harbaugh. Look what Tier Tart's been. So now you have Tier Tart, Jones, and Hand. That's a solid, good rotation that they have right
now. And who knows? Maybe they drafted D tackle in the first round.
Exactly. Or in the draft in general. Yeah. And look, they probably will. There's still guys out there that they can go sign.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. They're gonna do this. They're gonna go based off of stuff like that. So, what's up, Angel? Yeah, Dan is
What's
back.
up,
He's
my
ready
boy?
to go. Nice shirt,
I haven't
Dan.
been drinking. Exactly. That's the other part. I blame Gilberto. The Gilberto lingering over here curse. We haven't signed anybody. But I think again, the thing that probably makes a lot of people worried is that this is the full off season, and like they're in total control of the whole organization. Where last year they were kind of coming in and trying to put out fires, and that's what has people unsettled. That it's like, okay, well, now that we have all this budget, like where is it going to? You know what I mean?
Like I still think that they're a season away from spending. Being heavy spenders. Like you said,
agree, yeah.
They're not a DK Metcalf trade
Yeah,
away
no.
from winning a Super Bowl. They're not, and that's just the honesty.
No.
They need better playmakers. They need a defense. They need other pieces. They re-signed Denzel Perryman. That's a good piece. The only thing is that Denzel got hurt last year.
You still need to find somebody
in a key
else.
situation.
I love Denzel. I think he's very good at first.
Angel, you've been done with Greg Roman since he got hired.
Well, last year at some point he got hot late in the year, and then he just totally went away from it against the Texans, which was crazy. But yeah, Perryman's good, but I mean, you still need another guy, dude, just in case. Like that's why. We're not going to get. We'll get to Mike later.
That Junior Colson is that guy. It's just going to take him a whole off season.
Yeah.
Well, remember he wasn't in.
What was his deal? He was a rookie, right?
Yeah, but he had a hamstring during camp.
A hammy.
And then it kept him out. And then when he came in, he got hurt again. They put him on IR. He came back. So it took him a little bit. Nobody's going to know this scheme better than him.
Yeah.
Because
I can't wait to see what low key Deion Henley's going to do in year 2. That guy was such a stud, dude. He was such a stud for this defense. A few times he kind of missed some big plays, but I mean, he's only going to get better.
Yeah. No, I agree. Obviously, Dan, the big story yesterday was the return of this guy right here.
Oh. Who we? I love that. I know he won't drop the ball when he's open, unlike some of these other guys. God.
I saw a stat today, and I showed it to Dan. In passes of 25 yards or more throughout his career, Mike Williams has a 0% drop rate.
Yeah.
So he never drops passes down the field.
We talked about it a little bit on the car over to the house, but I think this is a good low risk, high reward. He has, because I think, he was in New York for a little bit. New York was a disaster. I don't think that really shows who Mike is. Don't get me started in Pittsburgh with Danger Russ and all that other stuff, which I think that was a disaster. I think this is going to be a perfect, it's a perfect contract too, because it's a kind of a prove it year. And I think he's under 30 or he's close to 30 or is 30. And he probably still has a lot left, man. And the familiarity with Justin Herbert's going to help. Being back in the building, back on that in that stadium and everything else, I think that's going to help. And he's probably like really hungry to prove himself. I'm sure he doesn't like the way last season went, coming off an injury and everything else. He's not happy about, which my God, the previous admin tried to kill him on wide receiver screens. I don't know what the hell we were doing, but whatever. There's the wizard.
And now,
the New Orleans head coach. Yeah, wizard. But
Alex, I don't think DK and even Tyler Dragon, who got on me for not thinking that DK Metcalf, that the trade should happen. He said he's not worth $30 million. The Chargers were not going to pay him $30 million and give up a second-round draft pick. He's not worth that kind of money, and that's kind of the thing that we have to remember. The teams that make big trades like that usually end up getting screwed. Last year, I know everybody wants to talk about last year. Philly on the first day got Saquon. That's one big move. Like
they had a team that was already set. What are we talking about?
Exactly. But what I'm talking about
who did they add? Zach Bond and Saquon.
Everybody else was already there. Was cheap.
And through the draft.
He was cheap. So,
but that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, Mike Williams coming in. And I know everybody's really concerned.
And he was a free agent.
Yeah, Mike Williams is Mike Williams coming in. Everybody's nervous about Angel. Devontae's 20, like I think he's like at 22, 23 million a year.
Oh,
That's
I agree.
a lot for an older
That's-
receiver.
yeah, that's a lot.
Even Eric was surprised at the price tag.
They
That's
just
a
want
lot. We're talking about we're talking about Mike Williams. I get it. Like everybody's a little bit freaked out about the injury bug that has hit Mike in the
Yeah,
past.
for real. I love what
But,
Jesse says.
oh, that's what I was about to say too.
Oh, my bad.
He's
I
in the
pulled
new,
it up
no,
for you.
you're good. You're good. You're in a new facility. You're gonna have a bunch of stuff that you didn't have when you were in Costa Mesa. You're gonna have Ben Herbert now who can help out. Everybody last year, I mean, for the most part, most of their guys lasted the whole season. Guys that used to have the injury bug, and then on top of that, everybody's gonna point to this season. But remember, Mike wasn't with Justin Herbert. He was in a new place with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, and it was look at how that went. It was a disaster.
Aaron didn't look good.
No,
Eric
remember his title, the Doctor.
Aaron looked good the back end of the season, and then he goes with Dangerous, and he had one good touchdown, which was on one of the corners that they just signed from Washington as well. But then, but it usually, I remember when Keenan tore his ACL, he told me he told me the second year, he's like, this year I feel amazing. He's like, last year I was worried that maybe running I could re-tear it or do this or do that. That second year when you come back from a torn ACL, that's the year that you can play well. We have to remember Mike is not that old. Mike is only he's 30 years old. He still has some.
Oh, he's on it.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know who's I love what I love what Alex said here. Let me see. Oh, don't get me wrong. DK in Pittsburgh isn't going to work, but they're going to try and trade him in DK in year 2. There you go. Whoever said you got to take advantage and trade for him sooner or something like that, there you go. We'll get him in year 2. Don't you worry. They'll try and get rid of his ass. But, I think it's again, low risk, high reward. Angel says something interesting here. He says, the thing that worries me is I don't know if Joe's too invested in the comp pick formula. I'm like, well, if they're going to do that in the first 4 years where you kind of had the advantage because Harbaugh knows all these people, maybe a lot of those comp picks hits and then it looks good. So, I mean, the problem is you just don't know. That's why, like, all this offseason stuff drives me crazy because, I mean, we all remember how, we thought it was going to be amazing when we traded for Khalil, signed JC and all these other guys, and we all know how that went. I'm not even going to repeat it. But, that's the thing about the offseason. There's too much of the unknown. But I think Mike is a perfect low risk, high reward. And hell, honestly, I don't know if I'll get flack for this or not, but I would bring Keenan. I would talk to Keenan and see if they can bring him in cheap. Like, what you need right now, clearly, over anything else, is guys who will catch the ball when they're open. That, to me, is –
and get open.
Get open is part of it. Guys will get open because of a scheme, missed assignments, whatever. You need guys to catch the damn football who are open. That, to me, from last year, besides obviously offensive line play, that is the biggest problem you have to address as a team. Like, that is inexcusable moving forward, in my opinion, in year 2 under Harbaugh. You cannot have those
drops last year.
Mental mistakes. That is, not only are you screwing, your fan base first and foremost, who,
they're screwing you.
Well, besides the fact I'm part of it, yeah, they're screwing me. That's a problem. But you're screwing the fan base because you're not putting you're screwing the fan base because you're losing in the dumbest way possible, which is missed assignments and errors. Second off, you're screwing your $50 million quarterback because you're not putting pieces around them who can catch the damn ball when they're open. And thirdly, you're screwing these guys who maybe aren't the right guys to be there offensively. They don't have the right skill set. You're not putting them in positions to win. So that's also another problem. And I think, moving forward, that needs to be addressed. If I even see one drop from half of these fools, I'm going to get pissed off and I'm going to let them have it. And, I'm going to say, cut half of these guys now moving forward. Cut the guys who dropped the football. It's over. We're not doing this anymore.
And I truly feel like everybody's going to talk about the first round draft pick and everything. I still think it's either going to be a defensive tackle, a pass rusher, or it's going to be a tight end. The receiver thing, I mean, unless there's no tight, I mean, unless
I don't need receivers, man.
And
actually, no, I do need receivers, but I like what Angel says here.
Well, that kid out of Texas, Golden,
I like D tackle. Really, who's the receiver? Who
He's
knows?
really
The
good.
problem is you never know, too, what these guys are going to do. I like what Angel says here. Getting concerned that they're not spending at least on what they want to focus on, the O-line. They need to protect Herbert if they're not going to give him weapons. That's my same concern from the beginning. As soon as they passed on DK and Devontae, I'm like, that makes sense. They probably called. And the problem is we don't know. We don't know if they've reached out, and that's probably part of the frustration. Because I think if you would at least see they're reaching out, you're like, okay, they're doing their due diligence, doing something. But, I'd like to assume, even though you know what they say about assume, make an ass out of you and me. I'd like to think that they reached out for DK, and when they said second round pick and 30 mil, no thanks, hung up the phone. And I assume I'd like to think when they called Devontae, they said, you want 50 million and you're 30 something? Yeah, no thanks, dude. But, the problem is now you don't even sign offensive line, and I totally agree. Then go sign offensive line. That's the focus. That's the vision that I was sold as soon as they hired you guys. So where's that coming? Where am I? 6'7", the mountain. Bring me the mountain from Game of Thrones. Bring me, who was the wildling or whatever, the ginger, whatever the hell his name is, and who's another one who was big as hell in there? Who was the mountain's brother? No, who was the one? The mountain, wasn't there someone who was big as hell after that?
I will never get the play.
Exactly. Exactly. Charge bring another vet wide receiver. QJ going to be like Brucey. So here's another one for me. Alex. I totally agree. I think they need did I already say talk to Keenan? Did I already say that or no? Okay.
Yes.
So I think they need to call Keenan. He wants to play on the West Coast.
Well, I remember everybody used to say when it was Keenan and Mike, they'd be like, if they could just get a fast, speedy receiver, this could change. Well, now you kind of have Ladd, who's a guy that could do it. But the thing is, Keenan plays in the slot, and so does Ladd. So that's kind of the concern.
You can window it however you want. That's the job of the offensive coordinator. I'll put fucking Scott Matlock out there. I don't care. Get guys who will catch the damn football when they are open. Open. I can't have drops anymore. That's going to be bad. I'm not going to be happy about that. I'm going to be pissed. Oh, I was in the shitter, dude. I did not feel well yesterday, Jorge. I apologize. Exactly, Angel. Like if Greg Roman's our coordinator and he supposedly is some running game wizard, where are the offensive linemen? Where's the reinforcements?
Who gave up the Compas for Len, Dan?
I never did. Oh, that was he who must not be named. But he will be shown. But anyway, where was I going? Where's the offensive lineman? Where's the reinforcements? Like, my thing is, yeah, I know. Tyler Dragon's awesome, dude. I appreciate you, Jorge. That's my thing. You haven't signed offensive lineman. That's what I was going to tell you. If I go through another season of, part of it is I like Bozeman because he at least, hit someone in the face when they try to cheap shot Herbert. I respect that re-signing. But if I go through another season of having those three interior linemen, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to drink every single time at watching every single game. I'm not going to be able to get through it sober. I don't think it's a good idea. I just think they need to bring in guys. Like, there's no way you're going to tell me they're going to draft, 3 or 4 guys in a row. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Look, and these guys can't even catch it when they're open, and look what this guy does. You see what I'm saying? This guy does it when he's like get draped all over. I think this is going to be good. I'm going to be positive. Let me be positive now. Mike Dub, if you see this, God bless you, sir, for coming home. I wish you never left before. Oh, Minshew's joining the Chiefs. Oh, that sucks, Mimsy. Ugh, now I don't like that guy anymore. Hopefully we won't see him in the Super Bowl. But God bless you, Mike, coming on home. Just talk to Keenan. Because I think, honestly, the best part is now with Ladd emerging, Keenan. Oh.
No, I don't think so at all. Look, if there's anybody's plan that I trust, it's Jim Harbaugh. If you remember, Jim Harbaugh's first year was in 2011 for the 49ers. They went 13-3. The next year, in the 2013 playoffs, what did Jim Harbaugh do? He went 11-4-1. They lost in the Super Bowl, but he made Colin Kaepernick that year a star. I trust Jim Harbaugh more than anyone with quarterbacks, specifically Justin Herbert. Now, I get it. You go out there, you have a really good offensive line. You need another receiver besides Ladd McConkey. I would love for the
He said we have a really good offensive line?
sign Cooper Kupp. Cooper, you do not
No.
have to
No, thanks.
get out there.
You want me to get
No,
it off the
thanks.
screen?
Yeah, what the hell is he talking about? We have a good offensive line? Is that what he said?
Yeah, I think he's thinking about the tackles.
Is he high? Did he pass a piss test over there at NFL Network? What are we talking about? I need offensive line help. Oh! Oh, I don't know how to say your name. It's our friend from Ireland. It's our friend from Ireland. What's up, my guy? Or lady, a laddie, I don't know. Where are you from
Lassie.
in Ireland? Lassie. Where are you from in Ireland? Remind us. Maybe Lausd Brun? Yeah, I think it's our friend from Ireland. If you think,
Yeah, it is. I think it is too.
I have something to sell Jim. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree, though. I agree in the sense that, like, I trust his plan. It's only year 2, yada, yada, yada. Let me panic like everybody else. Fuck it. Who cares? But, you know, it's just, come on, dude. We can't go through another season, Frau. Another season. Oh, there you go. Daylight savings. Oh, so he's probably what? 8 hours ahead? What? 9?
7.
7. Oh, there you go. Good to see you, sir. Hit the Irish. I love the Irish whiskey. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
This is
Or
how
lady.
the McAfee show reacted to you signing Najee Harris.
I like that signing.
Naj just signs with the Chargers. Congratulations to Naj getting some money to join Jim Harbaugh's team. You know, Jim Harbaugh, Ortiz football.
Oh, yeah.
Is we need to run it. Naj can certainly pound it. I mean, he ran better this year, I feel like, than ever before. I don't know
Happy St. Patty's, my guy.
that Eddie George had with Derrick Henry. Remember,
You
at the
just played
beginning of
Dan.
Derrick Henry's career with the Tennessee Titans, he was not the current Derrick Henry that we know.
Oof.
He had to evolve, he had to change, he had to get better.
I like
Because
that.
in high school, Derrick Henry was obviously
But, like, you know what? Someone told me today, it was like they were like, what did they say? That he's not a fast guy or something like that? I'm like, you don't need him to be fast. I need people who can get 4 yards a carry. That's what I need. You get a first down after second down. Or no. Sorry. Mathematics doesn't. No, you get a first down every time on third down or whatever. You know what I'm saying. You get 4 yards a carry. That's what you want out of a running back. 3 to 5. 3 to 5. 4 is the happy middle ground. So I'm actually liking it, especially because he said he never gets hurt. He never misses games. Obviously, fingers crossed, knock on wood, do whatever you have to do. Happy St. Patty's Day. Whatever you have to do. Because God forbid this guy comes here, all of a sudden he's missing games. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I think they will bring JK back, honestly. They still need another running back. I'm pretty sure. They need
do.
running backs. JK will come back, I think. I think they like him a lot. But, like, the problem is, you know, same thing as, you know, what you have in the wide receiver. What you need, okay, are guys to take the focus off. That way you can distribute the football a little bit better. Because right now, the only thing offensively people are afraid of is Ladd McConkey and Justin Herbert when he has just a wee bit of time. That's it. Like, what else are you afraid of? Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater protecting the edges. Other than that, what are you worried about? I wouldn't be worried about diddly squat. I'd leave half of these morons, shouldn't say that. I'm sure they're great people. I'd leave half of these people open. They're going to drop it anyway and just send it for a pick 6. And then I'm going to have to listen to morons on TV blaming my quarterback when he's out there playing with, you know, high school JV players. So, you know, that's part of it.
And,
I just can't go through another year of it.
Do you miss this guy?
Who? Every now and then I get a little bit. Oh, yeah.
Ready to win. And I think this team is primed to do that. And
I don't know about that.
to join a winning culture and, you know,
Ooh, that kind of hurt, but it's kind of true.
experience a little bit of the seasons, you know, maybe
Oh,
a little bit. I'm just excited, like I said, to experience something new, something different. And I think something that's going to be really special. You know, last year in this stadium, I think we have a chance to do something special. And Josh
Why'd you have to
texted
do
me
this
that
to
we
me?
do what we set out to do. We'd we could really be
I
immortalized.
don't want to hear
in
shit
this
from
town,
Josh.
And,
That guy
that's what
cooks
it's
it.
all about is winning a championship, and that's
Josh
I think why
doesn't
people are
care.
here.
He's banging some supermodel or whatever. Or sorry, he's marrying some supermodel. He doesn't care. He chokes it every year. I don't want to hear about him sending texts about winning. What the hell does he know?
I
He
couldn't
loses
hear.
the same team.
They kind of cut off. I wanted to see. Okay,
It's
here it
fine.
is.
I don't care.
Josh
Sure.
knew that, that if we do what we set out to do, we could really be immortalized in this town, and
Won't happen.
that's what it's all about is winning a championship, and that's I think why people are here. Josh, text.
I'm gonna say something about him. I was on a show with Buffalo, and they asked me about Joey, and I said, look, Joey was one of the most genuine people
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
ever met. Like, Joey was always really nice. He would always talk to you. He knew everybody's name. He would always say hi to people. It's funny. The last time we saw each other, he's like, I don't know if we're gonna see each other or not, but it's been a pleasure to be around you, and you were always really great. He's like, I'm not gonna give you a handshake. I want to give you a hug. And he gives me a hug. He's like, thanks for everything. And I was like, oh, I appreciate. I was like, I think you'll be back. He's like, I don't know. So just in case. And
too is like,
and he and he told me, he's like, hopefully our paths cross in the future. I was like,
for
yeah,
real.
no, hopefully they do. So
Dog.
he's honestly one of the most genuine people. And I know everybody wants to talk about on the field. I know
Yeah.
I'm talking about off the field,
Yeah.
but he definitely is a really good guy. And I remember at the beginning with all the stuff with his mom on Facebook and saying stuff about the Spanos family and the organization. He caught a lot of flack with a lot of people, and some of the journalists in San Diego took exception to it. I didn't. As soon as I met him the first time, I was like, hey Joey, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, nice to meet you too. And we would just talk, and we started talking about like Star Wars and some of this other stuff. And we got to be really close, and he was always awesome. So I definitely I don't have one negative thing to say about him. He was always great with me. So I definitely it's definitely gonna feel weird not to see him in the locker room for sure.
Oh, I agree. Like, I love what
yes, Jorge, we're nerds.
I love what John says. Hated to see Bosa leave, even though it was needed to be done. Okay, but the other part I don't really care about. I totally agree. It's crazy, but I assume better offer, maybe. I don't know.
No. Joey and Khalil are different. I know that we're getting to the point, and I said this on the radio show. We're getting to the point where this new generation doesn't give a shit about. Jorge, shut up.
For real. Leave wrestling alone. Wrestling's real. Didn't you see
wrestling? We just talked about Star Wars and movies and stuff, Avengers and all that stuff. Joey and we're getting to the generation now where these kids don't give a shit about winning or losing. They just care about getting their money, getting their bag, and doing everything. Stop. Jorge. So essentially what that's actually pretty funny, Alex.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I'm gonna throw that up there. It was respectful, so we'll put it up there.
And Joey cares about winning. So does
Khalil.
They care about winning. They care about winning championships. They care about all that. And that's why I think Joey chose Buffalo. He might have looked at San Francisco and been like, look, they're getting rid of a lot of guys.
They're not ready to go.
They're about to pay their quarterback $50 million.
What a joke.
Million.
What a joke.
And I just don't think I want to be there for the long haul. And here in Buffalo, it's like, well, they already have an established team. And essentially what they're going to want Joey, what they're going to want Joey to do is do what Vaughn did. Third down.
Yeah.
Just go get the quarterback, third down. And I think
especially packages of him, Von Miller, and then they have
Von Miller's now gone.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he just replaces Von Miller.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So essentially, and I think
is
Joey
he a free agent or is he retired?
Yeah, he's a free agent. I think Joey could give you more than Von Miller can. So and I don't think they'll ask him to do first down, maybe second, but they'll have him do third down specifically.
I totally agree. Like with John, it needed to be done because. What
you said with John?
No. What the hell does that guy know? Don't even bring me. I'm not even trying to get into his press conference again of we did the search and this and shut the hell up. We all knew who it was. But going back to it, I agree with John in the sense it needed to be done because $36 million for a third down guy, that's too much, dude. That is way too rich for my blood. But when I saw him sign for 12, I was like, oh God. Yeah, I wonder if they reached out. I assume they didn't, but I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But it is what it is. Like 36 million again, I totally agree was way too high for a third round specialist, but you know, it just would have been clutch, dude. You know what I mean? Having him, especially because at 12 million, you're like, okay, well, now we can use him more in the reserve role and just bring him in on special, scenarios, pass rushing downs and everything else. And that would have been perfect. But I mean, it is what it is on that.
I don't know.
Because now, again, the most important thing, who are you going to fill it with? Because
our Irish buddy is talking about Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett would, like, if that dude stays healthy, that dude was clinical.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
He was really good.
Yeah, that was one that was really sad to watch, dude. Like, that was just so bad.
Because essentially, I mean, the other picks were just a waste. Like, if you look at the rest of his picks.
Oh, my God.
Jason Verrett
how much shit did I get because I said he was a terrible drafter? Because he was,
or he's going back to Denario Alexander. I remember
that name sounds a throwback. Yeah.
He was good.
But yeah, it's tough to see. But I mean, whatever, man. Like, that's the shitty part about the whole thing.
So I think I'm wondering where they're gonna go next with what they're doing. I know Mekhi Becton is still out there, who would be a solid guard. He was good for the Eagles last year.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Oh, that was one of the. Was that one of the guys who stepped in the?
Yeah, he was the tackle from
NFC championship?
The Jets that came in for the Eagles. No, he played the whole season for the Eagles.
Oh, and he's a free agent. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're talking.
He would be solid. I just
Brendan
don't know.
Sharif, I've seen a little bit of. I don't know. That guy makes me a little nervous. But isn't he more of a tackle or is he a guard?
I wouldn't say the Chargers have no strategy. I mean, I just wouldn't say that. Like, I understand the second guessing of. I mean, I guess at the beginning, I didn't understand. Some people would like second guess Telesco at the beginning, and I'm kind of like, well, you kind of need a year or two to see what the GM has, and then obviously we saw exactly what it was. Like, I remember when Jeff Miller, Reedy, and all those guys came in, I would tell them like, yeah, the draft, like, he's great at first rounders, but then after that, it's like it kind of drops off a little bit. Well, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Jeff Stoutland is a great. Somebody was saying, I think somebody on the Rich Eisen show was saying that that's the ultimate weapon that the Eagles have, that offensive line coach that they have.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, coaching, you do raise the level of play. Like, it does happen. You can have the best athletes on a team. And I think you've seen it before. And if you have terrible coaching, it just doesn't work. Like, how many times haven't you seen loaded teams, run out of steam?
Remember that team with the Eagles when they had Vince? Remember Vince Young called them a dream team?
Oh, yeah. And they just ran out of steam because was that the Chip Kelly? No, right? Or I don't remember who was the coach actually at that point. But yeah, like that's the thing. It's like you have to have good coaching. And, it's going to be interesting to see what they do and who they bring in, because I think they still got to bring in somebody, for God's sake. Like, Pipkins isn't going to cut it. Bozeman's not going to cut it. Like, unless there's something going on in the building that we don't know, where they're just going to, walk up to Nick Hardwick, Jason Kelsey, and all these other guys, and like the Monstars take away all their talent and have these guys touch the football, and all of a sudden they're first year all pros. I don't know how that's going to work, because you do need guys in there.
I get, like, everybody saying that Washington's GM first year.
Why don't you tell them your trade, Frown?
What was my trade?
With Cincinnati.
Oh, no, but he's asking me, like, legit if anything's happening with that.
Oh, well, that was a good scenario though, or a good idea. A bunch of people do mocks.
I mean, the only thing I had was that Trey Hendrickson gets traded to the Chargers, but Just because I feel like the Chargers could pay him. Him and Khalil Mack would be ruthless.
Yeah, and he's like barely
so-
32, I think, and he's been really
No, he's
productive.
30.
Yeah, and he's been an anchor for them also defensively.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just
Jesse. Oh, Jesse. You might as well should give me a fifth of vodka and ask me to drive. Can someone tell me whose lyric that is? Let's see. Let's do a little trivia. I think that's a bad idea. I don't know. I don't think to give Gilberto credit, usually when they try moving guys around, it's because they don't like them where they're at. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last.
for a lab
Maybe-
is the go.
Maybe he shocks us, but like this is my thing. This is my perspective as an offensive line coach. And again, I understand it's only high school, but like if a guy has a hard time blocking and pass blocking, I'm not really going to trust him snapping the football and doing the other thing they already struggle at, if that makes sense, Jesse. So that's not a good idea to me. But I mean, we're going to find out what happens. Maybe Nick Hardwick has something in there. I don't know. That you see random guy, and that's the biggest problem. Oh, where the hell is it? Okay. It could be easier for Zyron because he's been messing up due to the center. He was solid with Corey. I totally agree. And that's what happens when you have real captains in there. See, Christian knows what I'm talking about. You have real leadership, real people who understand the offense. And I think that was the biggest loss due to, COVID, everything else. Like you lose Corey Lindsley. That's a huge gap that they haven't filled yet. So they need to fill it. Because I like the Bozeman resigning just because he, almost punched the hell out of somebody for trying to take a cheap shot on Herbert. But you can't, that guy cannot be the starter. No offense to him, his family, because I think the wife or somebody turned off comments on some tweet, which I totally get. Not great, but whatever, it is what it is.
This is what Dan wants from the guys.
Hold him inside here.
Exactly.
Yes. You got it? Will you look at me, son? If you grab him outside here like this or that horse collar thing you just did, you're going to get flagged and I'm going to be pissed. You hear me?
Exactly. 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 Oh, I love what Alex says here. If the O-line's the same at the beginning of the season, I'm not even going to watch the offense. It would be so hard. It would be so hard. Mimsy, ideal solution at center, you either get a vet or you bring in a guy who you think is going to be a stud as a rookie.
The Patriots just let go of
there's no in between.
Andrew.
I personally would rather bring in a vet because the center is the quarterback of the offensive line. So I think really you need a guy in there. A what?
He was with Tom Brady. Andrews from the Patriots.
Oh, he's a free agent?
They cut him right now a little while ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why isn't he visiting my organization over here? How old is he?
He's 8 years in. Hold on.
Oh, so he's got to be close to 30. But that's fine for offensive linemen.
Yeah, he's 32 years old.
Yeah.
He got released a little while ago.
Oh, yeah. Why not go talk to him? Let's see what he's got. He's got a lot of experience. What are we talking about?
Honest question.
I like this question. This is actually pretty good. Part of me worries about that. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. The random guy.
Oh, he's going to retire. He has a bum shoulder. Okay,
well,
thank you.
Like a bunch of. Yeah.
Thank you, our friend in Ireland. But I totally agree with this. This is part of the reason why I get a little bit worried about them doing all these 1-year rentals, because at one point, especially in the playoffs, you do need to have the guys. You know what I mean? You can't just try and coach up, otherwise guys who would be, depth pieces or whatever, and expect them to be the guys in the playoffs. So that's
the Trey Hendrickson thing would be interesting, just because that instantly turns Khalil Mack into the two best like the edge rushing duos in the NFL. The only problem is you might only have them for 2 seasons, so you would have to make your Super Bowl run either this year or next year.
Who?
With who? If Khalil and Trey Hendrickson were the edge rushers.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. I think you have to do that now. Like you have Khalil's clock is ticking, dude. Like you have to take advantage of that.
I think he's going to start doing 1-year contracts.
Well, yeah, that's fine and great, but I mean, he's already like what, 33, 34?
Oh, wait, I did want to go back to this because I did see that Alabez put the Washington Commanders GM is killing it. I get that, but we have to remember too, Washington drafted well. I know that people say that the other owner was piss poor or whatever, but they have some good pieces there in Washington that they've drafted that they brought.
Oh, over. Yeah.
Here it's like there's no really like I think Ron Rivera is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
And I think he knows how to scout talent. He knows how to draft talent. I mean, we saw with the Carolina Panthers teams and all that stuff. He did all that. Here, like they didn't really have all that. I mean, these guys have to come in and from scratch try and do what.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Like you're literally starting from scratch. You get rid of Mike. You get rid of Keenan. Offensively, who do you have? Like Josh Palmer? Okay. Yeah. QJ? Okay. Obviously the son of Odin in a league of his own, baby. Can't even say anything about it. I don't even want to hear any disrespect. But like then defensively, who's on defense when they took over? You know, Bosa, like, okay, don't get me wrong, love the guy, T's and P's, but he was hurt a lot, sometimes productive. You have Thule, has flashed, but, you know, waiting on it. You have Mac, obviously stud, Derwin stud, and you have a lot of guys who are just question marks. So you're not only having to fill 11 positions, but you have to fill, let's just say for one side of the football, I would say about, 17 to 20 to have competent backups or people to rotate. You know what I mean? Like, depending on the personnel, like the tight end room. Look at the tight end room alone. You think the wide receiver room is bad? Look at the damn tight ends. They're popping it up for the defense, Frau. What are we doing?
And Stone Smart left.
Jesus.
Stone Smart signed with the New York Jets.
They're starting from zero. Like they're starting from zero. Like this is what we said last year, where it's like, hey, if you think this is bad, just wait. This is what it looks like when you're building a culture, a foundation, and it's brick by brick. You know, a lot of people point to San Francisco. San Francisco, I'm sure, apparently had a bunch of studs on that team that just needed the right guy to get in there. And he added a few players and everything else, obviously. But you know what I mean? Like, it just takes time, And I think, again, I've said this before, if Jim Harbaugh can't crack the code on this shit, then we really
the thing is that people need to come and understand this part, and I think Tom has it.
Yeah.
They're going to build through the draft. They're not going to do it through free agency.
But, like, I totally agree. Don't get me wrong. I
last
totally
year's draft
agree.
class, you found four starters out of it. We still need to see what's up with the kid out of Alabama. Obviously Junior Colson as well.
Yeah.
And then Kamani Vidal. We still need to see what's up with all those guys. And then obviously Brendan Rice didn't play the rest of the season. So
Abs over here. I don't even know how to say his name. I don't know if it's L. Ames.
Well, okay, see, that's the problem. I don't know if he's gonna sell this. Like, who knows if he would actually that's not even entertaining.
Yeah, let's not even talk about it. But that's funny. I do appreciate that one. That's funny.
But
it's a conspiracy, man. But anyway, that's what I'm getting at. Like, this is brick by brick, as painstakingly as possible. Like, it's gonna be ugly, Oh, sorry. That's not even what I was talking about. We were talking about what Tom said. Shout out to Tom. You're totally right. I totally agree. You build through the draft because that's how you have, number one, flexibility in the cap, which I think is crucial for winning organizations. Flexibility in the cap. And on top of that, you have, guys for multiple years that are going to develop who are going to be good. And that's the foundation of your team. I see free agency as guys you need as maybe veteran leadership, certain positions you kind of need guys who have already been there and done it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And that's the only thing that I'm saying is missing now. Like, you look across that line, Rashawn Slater can't get all five guys on board. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not really, a left tackle thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to find a balance to it, which like I said from the first, I think What's Up Bolts we had on the way back before free agency even hit. I totally agree with not overspending for some of these guys. Like I know the D tackle, of course his name escapes me, from the Eagles signed for a crap ton of money for $108 million or whatever.
Thank you.
The Patriots.
I have something.
And, I totally agree, I totally agree not overpaying, because now you're going to see him on a different team, and who knows how good he's going to be. You know what I mean? Like that Eagles front was stacked because they had a good blend of vets, guys who were on the cheap, who they coached up, and young draft picks who were phenoms.
Are you ready for this?
That's where it's trying to find that mix. But, to not do anything, like that's the only thing that trips me out.
But
find me a center, find me a guard.
The second and third wave is when they're going to start doing stuff, and now they've started. Like this is the second and third wave where they're getting started. Those two defensive tackles, I think they're solid. Otito Ogbanya, I still have a lot of questions about. I just don't know. I don't think he's a starter.
He's had a few injuries too. So.
No, and he doesn't. Really
the other question is going to be Matlock. That's the other question also.
Yeah.
Like fullbacking, he kind of got better. It was a new year, but I mean, like
you're talking about Milton Williams. Look at a Boston.
There you go. Shout out to my Irish friend here.
Boston,
shout out Dion.
Boston radio guy. Listen to what happened. What he says about Milton Williams pickup for the Patriots.
My mind on this. If the Eagles had cap room, the number one player they would have wanted to sign was Milton Williams. If they were another team and had cap room, they would have signed Milton Williams. He's like the ideal free agent for the Eagles, and they let him go. Why? Because they are out of money. Jewel, wake up. They're out of money because they put all the money on the offense.
To wake up for me.
If you're okay with that, then just call and say, I'm okay with this. It's going to work out. But to pretend this is not the reason, to pretend these players weren't any good, is the dumbest nonsense I've heard on the station in 5 years.
Jewel, would you like to take a guess for the vehicle?
I need a second. Last week, this is the most ridiculous stuff I've heard from callers in 5 years. This is taking me back to the Wentz stuff. This is taking me back to the Gabe Kapler and George Girardi nonsense. This is insanity. Milton Williams. Like, you know what my favorite part is? My favorite part of this is that there is an assumption of our callers and listeners this week that every team in the NFL is stupid and we're smart. $100 million. As if he's not good. That a team woke up one day and said, you know what? The Eagles, maybe he's good. Here's $100 million. No, the whole league watched him, Jewel, and they said $100 million. But Jewel in Columbus, New Jersey says it doesn't matter because Jewel knows more than the Patriots and Mike Vrabel. Like, are you kidding?
That was hilarious. But, I was going to say something and then it escaped me. Damn it. That was a good video, though. That guy was hilarious. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Dude, you've seen your team win a Super Bowl 2, out of the last, 5 years or whatever? Who cares at this point? You're already ahead of the game, dude. I'm still waiting on one. Bring me one. Bring us one with our Irish friend. It's good to see you. It had been a while. Shout out. See, this is interesting to me. And I hold on. Let me make sure it's not naughty because I don't want to fall for that again. Picks. Oh, yeah. See, here we go. I like this. I like what L. Abe says, or E-Abs, or whatever your name is. Spell it out for me or tell me. Rams said F them picks and won the Super Bowl and are constantly contenders. Sometimes the draft is not the answer. You need to get established players to win playoff games. I totally agree. But I mean, I'm be frank with you at this point. Like, and I hate to give him credit. But like the Rams have been successful in doing two important hires, Sean McVay and Les Snead. Like, let's not forget about that either. They've been there for how many years for now already? Like,
no, but they didn't F them picks. They didn't F them picks
until they were
close. They were established and ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
they went to go trade for Matthew Stafford. They traded for Jalen Ramsey, and then that's when they did the whole F them picks when they were already ready to go and truly compete. Everything else they drafted though. And again, we're only in the second year, starting the second year of of Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh. It's crazy. Last year everybody was all excited. Now this year everybody's like ready to burn it down. So I just think it's crazy.
but
Everybody's asking about Rashawn Slater. The reason why I feel like they haven't signed him yet is because sometimes guys like to wait, or teams like to wait, because usually you want to save about 10 million in cap.
Funny.
So
Yeah,
I think that's gonna get done. It's just a matter of time. Right now they're focused on the draft and other stuff. I mean, Rashawn's gonna be here, I believe. I think they really like Rashawn. I think they really like the dynamic between those
could
two.
you imagine? Like,
You're already missing 3 offensive
I know.
linemen in the
That's
middle.
what I was gonna say.
You don't want to make a fourth
blindside. A
fourth-
blindside.
yeah, exactly. Well, no, because they would just move all to left tackle the way he did in the Raiders.
Oh yeah. You're right.
But yeah, no, you don't want to. They're not gonna.
But like the Rams, I totally agree. At one point, there was like, if you get to
and
that
they're back
point,
at
let's
it.
just
The Rams
say,
defensive line is now back to
through the
being-
draft,
through
the
the
draft and
draft.
cheap. That's
But
why
who
I
they've
thought,
been hitting.
yeah, I totally agree though. Like, you get to the point where you're like, oh yeah, we do got to F some of them picks. It's like, okay, then do it. Like, I'm not against it. All I'm saying is right now in the build, you can't, like, I don't think it's a good move yet. Like, I don't think like, again, this team is not one trade away. I think Hendrickson would be a good move, but is that the final answer to get us over any sort of hump? No. There's
they
still a lot
need,
left.
They still need corner. They still need a number one corner.
I need a shit ton of people, Frau. I need to, start running
like
Dan
Elijah
Dago's
okay,
Olympic
Elijah Molden was
training.
the guy
I
that
want to put out there.
Pierre Tart and Elijah Molden were 2 guys that they brought in really late.
Yeah.
And both of them are they've both been really good hidden gems. They got obviously the 4 guys in the draft. So you're starting to get guys. It's just gonna take a little bit, especially because
I totally get your frustration, Young West. We got worse as of now. Like, when you have money to improve areas you need, but make no improvements is awful. Totally get the frustration. I mean,
Alex, I don't think they're going to be in on Cooper Kupp because he does exactly what Lad McConkey does. The only
I
way
would
that
take
I
a
think
Keenan. I would take a Keenan.
I just wonder what they would think about, because then there you kind of do have 2. I mean, because Keenan missed games last year. You'd have 2 injury prone.
Think about it. You're talking
players.
about Mike. You're talking about Mike.
No, if you
Mike
had Keenan, you have Keenan and Mike, and both have been injured.
Think about it. You
Low
either
risk, high reward.
What?
But
low
it's
risk,
also how much is
low
Keenan
risk, high reward. Oh, bullshit. You're talking about contract or how much he has
Yeah.
left? Oh, that's something else. But imagine a run game, something at least a little more competent. I get it, Angie. I totally get it. I'm there also.
The random
guy
because they know that we're on Compas on the beat, and they know that we're gonna sign off. Like, watch
exactly.
In a little bit, we're probably gonna sign off, and they're gonna sign somebody or go trade or do something, and we're gonna be like, damn it, now we have to jump back on tomorrow, because yesterday we had just signed off with Tyler Dragon, and then Mike Williams gets signed the Najee Harris. We were about to sign off. And then on Compas on Monday, and then they signed Najee, and I'm like, okay, there you go. Like,
but think about this. Think about this. You have Keenan, Mike, Lad. Please, no offense. I'm sure he's great. Shout out. He talked to you at the Radio Row.
Nice guy.
I'm sure he's great. I'm sure you'd love to have him over. I'm sure you'd
told me he didn't leave Radio Row because he knew I was there and he wanted to make
shout out. That's why
he's a fan.
That's
he's
why
a fan of the show.
That's why when I talk about him, it's only about
I know.
It's not personal. I would never be personal. I'm sure all these people are great until they cross me. Then all of a sudden I'll shit on you on all sorts of levels.
Like who?
You've seen that? Oh, take your pick. LaFleur. That one in Washington, and there was that asshole comedian also. Who else? Trying to think of who else.
Gilberto.
But there's a list. Oh, but that one's out of love. But you have Mike, Keenan, Lad, at least as your receiver group. You don't have to like Keenan or Mike, whichever one. Oh, my battery's running out too, so we gotta cut this at some point. You don't need them to be the number one or the star. You know what I mean? Like, or they're the decoy, and that frees up either Mike or Lad
or QJ
or underneath 2 yards, 2 yard routes. Okay, and you don't need them to be the number one. You know what I mean? Like, That's what I'm talking about. You need to bring in someone who can catch the football when they're open. Is that too much to ask? Can I put a questionnaire out to all these free agents and say, do you catch the ball when you're open? Checkbox yes, checkbox no. No, fuck off, don't come to my team. Or yes, come on over. I need more guys like that. Okay? But I think Keenan and Mike and Ladd would be very serviceable. I don't want to hear the horse shit of, oh, well, Ladd and Keenan do the same thing. I need guys who can catch the ball when they're open. Open. Is that too hard to ask? Is that too hard to ask?
So what's the question they're gonna ask again?
It's gonna say, do you catch the ball when you're open? Check yes or no. No, fuck off. Don't come to my team. Who are ya? Yes. Come on over. I need guys. Put Harbaugh in an X. He catches passes in warmups. That's what I'm saying. And then you add QJ as the fourth guy. Less stress on him.
Oh, Dan hates body catchers.
Oh, it's the fucking worst. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Anyway, you have QJ's the fourth. Less pressure on him. Or shit, I'd use him as a tight end. Just get him close to the line. Get him close to the line. You don't need him to be some world beater. If his skill set is anything within, let's just say, a 5, well, shit, I'll say a first down, 10-yard radius, a fourth receiver can do that. Let Mike stretch the field, let Keenan get in the medium, and let Ladd do something else. And then you just have, here's QJ, just right here, this little bubble. First down, behind the chains, we're going to put him right here. Let's hope, for God's sake, he catches the damn thing and then uses that supposed speed I've heard about and gets out there. So I like that idea, personally. Keenan and Mike, I think, would be solid. I think they bring I think they bring leadership to the team, which I think is probably needed also, especially in that wide receiver room. So yeah, I like that idea. I would
love to get Dan and Harbaugh like in a room and like them interview each other, like do the Barstool thing. Just
I would love to talk to him. I would love to pick his brain. But unless you're going to find other receivers, like in my opinion, again, you can't run it back with just we're already calling for the pitchforks year one. I respect it. They don't see, that's the thing about Charger fans. We don't trust anybody. Unless it's my Lord and Savior coming down and coaching my team and running my front office. I'm waiting to see results. I'm waiting. I'm not gonna get too excited. But
his brother fired him after a year and a half. I just wonder if this dude has a short leash or not.
Whose brother? What are you talking about?
So
Greg Joe Ortiz?
Greg was with
that was
John Harbaugh.
My opinion on that.
Lamar I think it was Lamar kind of like one of the driving forces where he's like, hey, this isn't working.
But I mean, like Lamar.
I mean, if you can't make it work with like Lamar running, like you like running the football and all that, and if you can't do it with Lamar, I mean, like I said yesterday on the show, I thought he was going to go get a young offensive coordinator.
You can't. I don't think you can have both coordinators do that, though.
No. I thought he was going to bring in Greg as like a tight ends coach and like running game coordinator.
No.
And then he was going to have like a young coach be in there and do.
That's what passing coordinators are for and all that. Like, he should have a young.
But I thought he was going to get like a young head coach from a university, bring him in, and something that fits the mold of today.
No, I think. How can I?
Dan wants all of his receivers to block, isn't that?
If you don't block, you don't see the field. I totally agree with McGuigan or what was it? McGuigan or what was his name? The old receiver coach. If you don't block, you shouldn't see the field. I totally agree with that. But I mean, I don't want to go back because that's already a year removed, but. I think it was smart to bring in someone already established because you already have Minter making the jump from college to exactly the most toxic thing you'll ever see. You already have Minter making the jump from college football to Notorious OG. You just won the comment of the day. That's hilarious. You already have Minter making the jump from college football to NFL as a coordinator, which you don't see that a lot. Just as FYI, I don't think you see that a lot. And that already is an adjustment of itself. Now, imagine having two of those. And on top of that, you don't know if those things are going to hit. So, personally, I think it was smart. Now, everybody just be patient with what I'm going to say. I think it was smart to bring Roman because, and this is the only aspect I say that, he's established. He's been in the NFL for years. He already had a stint with Jim. He knows how Jim likes to run things. Like, I'm sure if you notice, or this is just my guess, Jim doesn't seem like a guy who brings a lot of outsiders with him, if that makes sense. Unless they've already been with John, maybe, but he doesn't strike me as, oh, let's bring in new faces into my building or whatever. And that's not like an ego thing. That's just, a guess. Coaches usually like to stick with their own.
Well, I mean, you saw like the whole Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley thing. I mean, we've seen that forever.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it was smart to bring in someone who has experience already to help him out. But was Roman the right fit?
I just think
that's the question.
These guys need to see the three inside and say, look, don't be like Tom Telesco.
You can't pound the football.
No. I'm saying, like, don't keep a guy just because he was a former first-round pick. He wasn't your first-round pick.
Yeah.
The center, the center has to be elite. That's why when the Chargers traded for Corey Linsley, like, that was a Brandon Staley move. That's why I was like, oh shit. Like, he said that guy beat us in the NFC champion or in the NFC divisional round when he was with the Green Bay Packers and we were with the Rams. So I was like, okay, that's a brilliant move. That's something that these guys need to do. It's just that there's nothing like that out there because everybody now is like, hey, we need to keep our center. Like, we can't let him go.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do moving forward.
Can Creed Humphrey get caught with pot or something and they cut him and let me get that mullet out to Los Angeles?
I also feel like this is going to happen. That once the draft happens, everything happens. Everybody's going to calm down a little bit. I think everybody's just freaking out right now because they're seeing like the Patriots spend $100 and something million and other teams spending, but it's like you just need to relax a little bit and see what they do. But
Brady, what is he talking about? Brady. What Brady's going to be the OC? Do we have a Brady on staff?
Oh, Marcus Brady. Oh, you know where he went? Right up the street, Morris High School.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that dude.
Oh, see, I like this. Our friend from Ireland coming in clutch again. 100%. He didn't have a lot to work with. The only thing that bothers me, I still, one of these days, I'm going to nail this. I don't know if it's Lois Brune or something like that.
Lois de Brune.
But the only thing that bothers me is, self-scout, dude. You don't have the personnel to run heavy. And how many times on 3rd and short or 4th and short didn't these guys get stuffed? Because they don't have the personnel. And he refused to change that. And I'm kind of like, what are we? Leshea? That's how it's said? Leshaw? Leshaw Brune? Is it Gaelic? But you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the personnel to go heavy. I agree.
Probably annoyed with us.
I know. I love the Irish. I love the Scots. I got a little Scot in me. I love everything about there. We visited once. We had the fortune to visit once the great country of Ireland and Scotland. Loved them both. Rains a lot in
Dan. Dan did get into Jalen Reagor. He is
I know. He's
Dan,
not a
what
returner,
does he pick off?
No, does not catch the football. Fuck off. Get off my team. But you know what I mean? Like you need to spread them out. Like I totally agree with running the football. I want to be a physical team, but like you don't have the personnel. Oh yeah, I do love that, Jay. I do love that. Oh, I think we play them on the road this year, so that'll be something nice to hear. I think we are at their house. I love that. I love bagpipes. A lot of people hate bagpipes, but I love it. I find it so soothing.
Jay has the picture of the kid from the Heavyweights. I love that movie.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious. But you know what I mean? Like, you have to just self-scout, brother. You got to stop trying to pound the rock. You don't have the personnel.
Dan, before we head out of here, I know your computer's about to die.
It's about to die.
Dan, you know whose birthday it was on Monday?
Whose?
Justin, you passed Peyton Manning for the most passing yards first 5 years, and you're not setting your.
It's just a bit of scratch.
Tis but a scratch.
Just flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound.
You were just quoting Monty Python.
That was just a quote.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, don't do that. You can tear a quad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The fans.
Don't
The
do
fans
that.
loved it.
Don't do that.
oh,
Do that. Eef up.
great success.
Silas one, yep.
Yeah, sure. Do
That
that.
appears to be me.
Whatever.
Justin 6 times.
Now I can finally eat.
Back-to-back game-winning drives.
I was in.
I love Jay Herbert.
that your QB?
Everybody can kiss my ass. I love Herbert. I love Herbert. I would tell the Joy Taylors of the world. Who's the other one? Oh, what's the
Emmanuel
idiot?
Acho.
There you go. I was about to say the one named in the lawsuit, also allegedly. Well, actually, no, that's not. That's not alleged. It did happen. It was named, I guess. But whatever. All those other morons, they can kiss my ass. I love Jay Herbo, man. And check that straight into my veins. Into my veins. Whose birthday was? Oh, yeah. I got you, Mimsy. Yeah, that's right. That is my favorite person. I thought you were being sarcastic like when you bring up Charlotte Flair. Oh, are you really? Oh, it's the best, dude. You gotta go to Edinburgh. That was amazing. Edinburgh Castle. That was amazing. Everybody's so friendly. Got to go get the whiskey. Obviously, Angie, you got to go. If you can get to the Highlands, that's awesome. I've heard looks beautiful in films and everything else. That's a dream. I got to go back to.
What was the castle that we went to?
Edinburgh
That
Castle.
whole-
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, also, well, who knows? You might not like it, Angie, but we did Edinburgh Dungeon, and that was kind of cool. It was like a moving play. It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
What
yeah,
what type of question is this, Tom? Every single waking moment is happy hour at Moe's. Drink till you puke or drop because you pass out. Not dead. We love everybody. ELE. You know what my ring says for Al? ELE. Everybody love everybody. So my laptop's about to die.
I thank you guys so much. This was a fun episode. We'll be doing a lot more of these, obviously, consistently. Trying to get some guests on. We'll see.
Alex, I like that.
We'll see who we're able to get on. And,
Carlos, I like that.
Hopefully we have some surprises coming up for you guys. I hope you guys get excited. Thank you to Jay. Thank you to Luis de Bruyne. I hope I got that right.
Oh, here we go. Here's some advice for you, Angie. Bring a coat and a jumper, even for summer. I'm so curious now. I'm going to Google what a jumper is. Shout out.
Robert D, Alex, Mimsy, Tom, Christian, Angie, who else? Angel, Brett.
Oh, yeah, hit the like button.
Robert,
Thank you, Angel. I always
Robert
forget.
M. We have a lot of Roberts. Robert M. Alex, I already said your
Robert
name.
D, shout out.
Notorious OG.
He had a good one.
Marvin Romero, Elibes, I don't know.
L-Abe, so who knows?
Elabes, sorry. The random guy had some good ones today. Let's see who else. I just want to thank you guys.
I figured it was a jacket. Shout out, Christian.
Spicer, thank you, Dion.
Shout out,
Young West.
Christian.
Young West is in the building. Jorge, thank you, Jorge.
Shout out.
You guys are all amazing. Thank you guys. Gabriel, you guys are all amazing. Thank you guys so much. Flip side.
Oh, the whiskey's the best. I love it.
I think we got everybody. All right. Thank you guys all so much. You guys were amazing. You guys we'll be back next week. Unless some news breaks over the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hope not. I want to enjoy the week. I have the San Diego FC game, so it wouldn't even matter. But
Carlos.
But again, thank you guys so much. You guys were amazing. Don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat. Again, we will be back next week. And again, if there's breaking news, we'll jump on.
My boy.
But
setting down the gauntlet. I love it. Irish whiskey is pretty good.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. But for the time being, we're going to get out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please like it, guys. We appreciate if you guys
help
would
spread
like
the word.
You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Dan, get us out of here.
Be a compa, tell a compa, and don't forget, John Cena is the Rock's bitch.